Clouds, fog, hazy sun on Thursday with some drizzle possible. Good Wednesday night, East Tennessee. David Aldridge, Captain Accurate here from the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center, where you can see most of the rain appears to have ended. Most of it has moved up toward the Tri-Cities, up toward Kingsport, up toward Johnson City and Mountain City, but really not an issue here. There may still be a stray shower, but this is a loop of the last 6 hours. You can see at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock drive, most of it was back where I thought it would be, Morristown, Newport, and Cosby. And it had already dried out in Jamestown, Crossville, and Spring City. So this is just a 6-hour loop, but it gives you an idea that this has a spin to it. It was, or could be considered, a rainy southern slider. As it was slow to get in here, it was slow to leave. By the way, East Tennessee's #1 tire service and auto repair since 1953 is Madlock Tire Service and Auto Repair. If you need an oil change, you need your tires rotated, maybe you need a whole new set of tires, Madlock is the place to go. They've got 5 convenient locations: Knoxville, Maryville, Lenoir City, Athens, and Hardin Valley. Check them out at madlocktireservice.com. I think you'll be impressed, and tell them Captain Accurate sent you. By the way, the amount of rain that we saw varied quite a bit. The airport officially got 0.89, but these are Doppler estimates, so it suggests about maybe over an inch in South Knoxville, maybe 0.85, maybe around Union County near Blaine perhaps, or near Morristown, over an inch. So it does vary, but there were some bullseyes in yellow, which would suggest over 2 inches in some parts of southern Cocke County and southern Greene County, just to name a few. But keep in mind, all this moisture is trying to move away. That doesn't mean we couldn't get a stray shower tonight. We could, and we could find some drizzle tomorrow, but most of this is on its way out of here. Still, some thunderstorms can be found across South Carolina and out in the middle of the Atlantic. They've got more rain up and down the I-95 corridor, especially north of D.C., into New York City, and up toward Boston, Massachusetts. Meanwhile, the rain changes over to snow in some parts of South Dakota. Parts of Minnesota's blue, so there's some snow there, and also some flakes, it looks like, in southern Idaho. Meanwhile, the tracking clouds and radar picture puts the clouds together, and you can see how that has progressed over the last 6 hours, trying to pull away very slowly. Let me show you the amount of rain we're going to get Friday into Saturday. You say, oh no, we're going back to that pattern. Yes, we are. We're not expecting rain per se tomorrow, maybe some drizzle, but most of these numbers really start to move as we head into Friday, and again Friday night, and then into Saturday. So by the time we start the evening on Saturday, most of it will have fallen. About another ½ inch, I think, is certainly reasonable given the other data that I've been looking at. So don't be surprised if you receive another ½ inch of rain before the end of the work week and into the weekend, because of course this is the weekend that we change the clocks. So it's a shortened weekend by the tune of 47 hours rather than 48. Speaking of the temperature, Almanac, our high temperature hit only 58. I modified down to 61 this morning, and I kept saying upper 50s, low 60s. Well, the rain certainly kept the temperatures down, but right on par with what's normal. If you're going to be normal on the 6th of March, today would be to do it at 58, because tomorrow the normal high is 59. That starts to move up. But we hit 58 at 4:46 in the afternoon, and we had a low of 54. So we moved all but, 4 degrees the entire day. And I mentioned the official measurement of rain was 0.89. That's at the bottom of your map there, at bottom of the screen, with a peak gust today of 11 miles per hour. Hardly movement at there. But high temperature hit 59 in Oak Ridge, 59 in the La Follette. They hit 59 in Jonesville, 58 in Maryville and Tellico Plains. They hit 59 today in Athens. Pretty uniform. But once you get outside of the canopy of clouds, they had a high of 70 today in Huntsville, and it was 70 degrees in Tupelo. Compare and contrast that to Memphis. They were at 65 today. Visibility isn't perfect everywhere tonight with these clouds, and I suspect with patches of fog overnight tonight, that might be something we'll be watching in the morning, and we'll look at future visibility here in a moment. Clouds, hazy sun Thursday with some drizzle possible. More rain showers on Friday. More rain showers on Saturday, except Friday I think is just mainly gray. I do think we'll get some sunny breaks on Saturday if there was to be a difference between those 2 days. Got to show you this. These are the 8 o'clock numbers, the current temperatures as of this recording, and you'll notice they're 55 in Huntington, 60 in Atlanta, 71 right now in Dallas. But there are some numbers that are cold. Might not jump off the page when you see 24, but anytime it's purple, it's like 5. It's single digits in most cases. There's a 6. There's an 8. Oh, and there's another 8. Even some of the pink or purple areas in the higher terrain of it looks like Wyoming, around 6. So there's some cold air here, no doubt, but just take note that it's not that far away. It's not like winter has disappeared across the entire lower 48. And if it were to come back, that purple color, would you want to know about it? Is there a chance that some of those cold numbers in purple could make a run toward East Tennessee? Oh, what are you just saying? I'm saying you just got to be mindful that we can have a lot of strange things happen. I mentioned this morning the record high today was 79 from 2022. And that was like just 2 years ago. But then, 6 days later, we had a snowstorm. 6.5 inches of snow during Knox County spring break in 2022. So how is it we had two record highs, because we had a record high yesterday, 2 years ago, 78, 79, 2 days in the upper 70s, and then whammo, 6 days later, things can change on a dime. That's the month of March for you. It can be a wild ride. My premium members understand that. And if you need more evidence of that purple, what that usually means, it means single-digit wind chills, and it means highs in the teens and 20s. Now, I'm not saying we're headed there in the short term, but there's certainly some cold air aloft heading into the 9th of March, 10th of March. It gets colder. We have the potential for some snowflakes in the Smokies this weekend. Oh, well, that's the Smokies. Yeah, that's the Smokies. They might see some flakes from the cold burst of air you see here. But then we go towards St. Patty's Day, all the way into March 16th and 17th, right? Starts to change over, and there's that purple you're talking about. I see it. It's over in the Great Lakes. But then it tries to make a run toward here. There's Knoxville in the 12-15 time frame. Oh, and another surge of cold air. Oh, no. That's all the way into Ohio. That purple is all the way in Chicago. Yeah, it's pretty close. All it would take would be a little southern slider like we had today. Go from Dallas to D.C., and we could be talking like snow. And what day is this? This is like the 21st of March. This is actually spring, man. My goodness, you're talking about snow in spring. Yeah, if you can have spring days in winter, you can have winter days in spring. You probably know that because we have redbud winter, dogwood winter. We got about a half a dozen little winters. But if it has some snow, I call that winter. You might call it spring, but I do know that spring officially begins at 11:06 p.m. on the 19th. That's a Tuesday. March 19th, 11:06 p.m. Tuesday, March 19th, is the vernal equinox. So this, if this were to verify, would be a really cold spring day and a really cold spring morning. And if it were snowing, which it could, if it were snowing, wouldn't you want to know about it? I think you would. And if some of you want to, join us on Captain Accurate Premium, because we discuss this on a daily basis. And you'd be amazed at what some of the long-range models are suggesting, what we're going to see toward the end of this month and into early April. Yes, I even said early April. Storm Prediction Center, talking about some colors of the scattered severe storm variety tomorrow. This is Thursday's outlook for Dallas, Fort Worth, Abilene, even Waco. Could find some scattered severe storms tomorrow. Tyler, Texas is green, dark green. In Austin, that would be isolated severe storms over there, but no concerns here because we have very little weather going on tomorrow. Now, that severe weather outbreak continues in Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southern parts of Alabama on Friday, even the panhandle of Florida. If we zoom in a little bit tighter here, these areas would include Mobile, Jackson, Baton Rouge, and Tyler, Texas, and Waco for some scattered severe storms on Friday. Some areas we'll be watching closely, and we might get some rumbles by the time we hit Friday into Saturday. But our futurecast takes this little slow-moving system out of the mix as we head into 1 o'clock in the morning. It's moving up along the East Coast, and maybe, just maybe, a spot of drizzle before midday tomorrow. Once we head into the afternoon, expect temperatures to reach about 67. It does turn warmer, but then all that rain in St. Louis on Thursday night will make a run, at least in this direction, heading into Friday morning. There's 7 a.m. We got a warm front. That'll push temperatures on Friday in the mid-60s, but rain will be with us. I have up to a 60% chance, which may need to be increased depending on the track. But I do think we're going to find more rain heading into Saturday, and then eventually we'll get more sunny breaks into Saturday afternoon as the front begins to move toward the east. So got some wet weather, about a half inch or so coming to round out the work week. Tonight, mostly cloudy, more patches of fog, a few stray showers possible, but winds 3 to 8. Here's that future visibility. It looks like a blanket of white across much of the area tomorrow morning. Some of this could be just cloud cover. Some of this could be cloud cover and fog. So if you need some extra time in the morning when fog is present, give yourself a couple of extra minutes because traffic can slow down if the visibility is not that great. And it looks reduced right through about 8 o'clock or even 9 a.m. tomorrow, which is Thursday. Tonight we're down to 48. That's my expectation. 51 for La Follette and Middlesboro, 50. 48 for Maryville, about 50 in Greenville. Tomorrow expecting a high of 67. 67, clouds and fog, hazy sun, and then maybe some drizzle before midday. But winds out of the northeast about 3 to 8 miles per hour. Here's your Thursday outlook. 65 for Wartburg, Oneida 65, and 68 for Newport 70. May be achieved for our friends in Madisonville and Tellico Plains tomorrow. Something to watch, generally in the mid to upper 60s for many of us come tomorrow afternoon. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast. Big improvement, 67 is, versus the 58 we had today, but that was more of a function of the clouds, and rain couldn't get out of here fast enough. But tomorrow, 67, 65 on Friday, 60%, mainly gray Friday. But then we move the clocks back an hour, 2 a.m., suddenly becomes 3 a.m. because we're moving forward. Good time to change the batteries in your smoke detectors. But Saturday and Sunday, we're going to have what I call the 47-hour weekend, because in the fall, we like the 49-hour weekend when we get to fall back, get an extra hour sleep. But this kind of throws everybody off kilter. But in the end, they like it because the longer days, they seem like, hey, the sun goes down a lot later. So there's going to be some benefit. But at least the sadness is that we do have to lose an hour this weekend. And we'll be only around 54 on Sunday. And then we got 4 mornings in the 30s. So that's cold enough if there's any moisture left over Saturday night to see some flakes in the Smokies. But I have 59 on Monday. And then by the time we hit Tuesday, Wednesday, we're well into the 60s of next week. By the way, you can keep track of it all using the Captain Accurate Weather app with Pete Michaels Traffic. If you need help getting from to and fro, nobody's better than Pete Michaels. He gives you the updates that you need to know on traffic, and he is on the app. Just search the 2 words Captain Accurate at the App Store or Google Play. We love Pete Michaels. He's been serving us not for years, but for decades. He is an institution here in Knoxville. Glad to have him. Very glad to have him on the app. Well, my name is David Aldrich. Some people call me Captain Accurate. We'll see you here next time. Take care.